Chapter 1: The Curse of the Busy Mind. Imagine a lake. When the water is calm, it acts like a perfect mirror, reflecting the sky, the mountains, and the ancient trees with absolute clarity. But the moment you throw a single pebble into that water, the image shatters. The ripples distort reality. You can no longer see the world as it truly is. Your mind is that lake. And in the modern world, we are constantly throwing pebbles. Every notification, every worry about the future, and every regret from the past is a stone that shatters your clarity. Most of us live our entire lives in the ripples, never seeing the reflection, never experiencing the stillness. The ancient samurai called this state of mental noise Mushin. It is the occupied mind. It is the mind that thinks too much, feels too much, and doubts too much. When a swordsman is in Mushin, he is slow. He is calculating his glory or fearing his death. He is trapped in the prison of his own ego. But there is another way, a way that the masters kept secret for centuries, a state where the ripples stop, the lake becomes a mirror again, and the sword moves with the speed of light, because there is no thinker to slow it down. They called it Mushin, the mind of no mind. Today, you are going to learn how to silence the ripples. You are going to learn how to stop trying to be great and start being great. This is the ultimate journey from the noise of the world to the silence of the soul. This is the path to the Mushin state. Chapter 2: The Neuroscience of the Void. For centuries, the concept of Mushin was seen as something mystical, a spiritual gift granted only to the most devout monks and warriors. But today, modern science is finally catching up to ancient wisdom. What the samurai called no mind, neuroscientists now call transient hypofrontality. To understand this, we must look inside your brain. Behind your forehead lies the prefrontal cortex. This is the CEO of your brain. It is responsible for logical thinking, complex planning, and most importantly, your sense of self, your ego. While the prefrontal cortex is essential for survival, it is a bottleneck for high performance. It is slow, it is analytical, and it is the source of the inner critic that tells you you aren't good enough. When you enter Mushin, something extraordinary happens. Your prefrontal cortex temporarily shuts down. The CEO goes on vacation. In its place, the deeper, more primal parts of your brain take over. These areas process information at a speed that the conscious mind cannot comprehend. This is why, in a state of Mushin, a musician doesn't think about the notes. Their fingers simply find them. A writer doesn't choose the words. The story flows onto the page. You stop being the actor and become the action. The barrier between your intent and your execution completely dissolves. You are no longer navigating a map. You have become the territory itself. But beware, this state cannot be forced. The harder you try to reach Mushin, the more you activate your prefrontal cortex, and the further away it slips. Mushin is not an act of will, it is an act of surrender. It is the art of getting out of your own way. To reach the void, you must first master the form. You must train until the skill is so deeply embedded in your muscles that the mind is no longer required to manage it. Only then, when the thinking mind goes quiet, can the true spirit emerge. Chapter 3: The Protocol of Stillness. Mushin is not a gift that falls from the sky. It is a discipline that is built through 3 specific pillars. If you wish to master the mind of no mind, you must follow the protocol of the ancients. The first pillar is internal saturation. You cannot find Mushin in something you have not mastered. When you first learn to drive, your mind is noisy. You think about the mirrors, the pedals, the steering. You are trapped in Mushin. Mushin only arrives when the skill has migrated from your conscious brain to your nervous system. This is why the masters say, practice until the technique is forgotten. Only when you no longer need to think about how can you focus on being. The second pillar is the anchor of breath. Your breath is the bridge between your body and your mind. When you are anxious, your breath is high in your chest. This signals your brain to stay in thinking mode. To enter Mushin, you must use kokyuho, the art of deep abdominal breathing. By breathing deeply into your hara, or your lower center, you signal your nervous system that the battle has already been won. This physical calm forces the prefrontal cortex to surrender. As your breath slows down, time seems to expand. You don't become faster, the world simply becomes slower. The final pillar is intentional detachment. The samurai had a saying, "Enter the battle as if you are already dead." This is the ultimate secret of Mushin. When you fear loss, your mind clings to the result. That clinging is the pebble that shatters the lake. To enter the zone, you must let go of the desire for success and the fear of failure. You must perform the task for the sake of the task itself. When the result no longer matters, the mind becomes empty. And in that emptiness, there is no one left to make a mistake. There is only the flow. There is only the moment. There is only Mushin. Chapter 4. The Modern Samurai. The era of the samurai has long passed, and their swords have become artifacts in museums, but the path of Mushin is more relevant today than it has ever been. We live in a digital battlefield where your attention is the prize and distraction is the enemy. Every day you are surrounded by noise that tries to pull you out of the present moment. Being a modern samurai doesn't mean carrying a blade, it means carrying a mind that remains undisturbed in the chaos. Whether you are coding a software, leading a business meeting, or performing on stage, Mushin is the difference between struggling to survive and flowing to conquer. Mastery is not a destination, it is a way of walking. The path of no mind is open to anyone who is willing to pay the price of discipline. It requires the humility to start as a beginner, the patience to repeat the basics 1,000 times, and the courage to let go of the ego. Remember the words of the ancient masters. The mind must always be in the state of flowing, for when it stops, it stagnates. Do not let your mind get stuck on your fears or your desires. Let them flow like clouds across the surface of your lake. Stay calm, stay present. Become the action itself. You are the master of your own focus. You are the architect of your own stillness. Now, go out into the world and walk your path with the heart of a warrior. If this journey into the world of Mushin has brought you clarity, subscribe to the channel and join our community of seekers. Tell me in the comments, what is the one area of your life where you need to find your no mind today? Be present, walk with honor, follow the path. Until next time.